ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਭਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਦੀਆਂ ਹਦਾਇਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਪ੍ਰਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਰੰਤ ਬੰਦ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਕਿਹਾ। ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਨੇ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੀਆਂ ਹਦਾਇਤਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨ ਨੇ। ਉਹ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਹੀ ਚੁਣੌਤੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਲੰਘ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਆ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਦੇ ਟੀਕੇ ਲਗਵਾਏ ਜਾਣ ਅਤੇ ਹਦਾਇਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ।
Just a short time ago, we had an election in this country where we asked Canadians how they wanted to keep fighting this pandemic. And their answer was clear. Canadians chose vaccines. They chose science. They chose to protect one another. Because Canadians know that's how we get back to the things we love.
Over the last few weeks, there have been demonstrations across the country, and particularly here in Ottawa. Obviously, people have the right to demonstrate. They have the right to disagree with the government and to be heard. This is a fundamental right that we will always protect and uphold as a democracy. But people do not have the right to block streets illegally, to harass their fellow citizens, people who want to go to work, who want to go to school. They don't have the right to insult those who choose to wear a mask, to get vaccinated, to be there for their fellow citizens.
Are trying to blockade our economy, our democracy, and our fellow citizens' daily lives. It has to stop. The people of Ottawa don't deserve to be harassed in their own neighborhoods. They don't deserve to be confronted with the inherent violence of a swastika flying on a street corner, or a Confederate flag, or the insults and jeers just because they're wearing a mask. That's not who Canadians are. That's not what Canadians demonstrated over the past 2 years of consistently, continually being there for each other. The people of Ottawa, indeed people across the country, deserve to have their safety respected and deserve to get their lives back. From the beginning of this demonstration, our government has been in close contact with the Mayor of Ottawa and municipal and provincial officials. So far, the RCMP has mobilized nearly 300 officers to support the Ottawa Police Services and is ready to do more. Yesterday, the City of Ottawa declared a state of emergency. We're convening a table with the relevant federal and municipal partners to further strengthen our response. The federal government will be there with whatever resources the province and the city need in this situation. Le ministre des Transports.
The Minister for Transport is working with his provincial counterparts to make sure that contraveners suffer the consequences.
Speaker, this blockade, these protesters, they're not the story of this pandemic. They are not the story of Canadians in this pandemic. From the very beginning, Canadians stepped up to be there for one another, to support their neighbours, to support their elderly, to support our frontline workers by doing the right things, by wearing masks, by getting vaccinated, by following public health restrictions. We're all tired of this pandemic. We're frustrated, we're worn down. None more worn down than our frontline health workers who've been going flat out for 2 years. But everyone's tired of having to wear masks, having to follow public health restrictions. Families like mine just last week that test positive, have to follow public health rules, have to isolate themselves. Nobody wants to do that. I don't know how many conversations parents have had to have with kids about not going to birthday parties, but not getting to have sleepovers. This pandemic has sucked for all Canadians. But Canadians know the way to get through it is to continue listening to science, continuing to lean on each other, continuing to be there for each other.